Good morning, folks. This is Greg Judy, Green Pastures Farm. Today I'm with David, and David and I are just moved the sheep here. And David, I want you to kind of take it from here and tell people what we're doing. As far as I see, you're putting the fence back up. And where were the sheep at, and what have we just done?
Okay, so yeah, Greg, the sheep were on this ridge here, and it's late October, a few days before Halloween. We've got 150 ewes. We've got some lambs in here, and we've got them on 2-day rotations right now.
When were those lambs born, David?
Okay, so most of the lambs were born this spring, so it'd have been May or maybe, yeah, pretty much most of them in May.
So they're not newborn.
Yeah, they're not newborn. We're not lambing in the fall. No, we're not. We like to do spring lambing once a year. And
what do they eat? What are they eating down there?
They're probably eating acorns, I would say primarily because it's fall. And I don't think they're going to eat many of those dried leaves, maybe a few, but mostly the acorns. And for this time of year, we want to graze everything, but we don't want to graze it too hard because we have to come back this winter again. And so we're trying to keep on moving them. So we got them on 2-day rotations. We're back fencing them so they can't go back.
Is that what this is all about right here?
Yeah, that's what this is right here. I took up about 8-9 posts.
So why did you take up 8 or 9 posts? Because it was hooked on right over there.
Right over here.
Okay.
Yeah. So I could have just rolled up the wire, but a lot of the visibility with sheep is the posts. That's why we use so many. So if you take the posts up, the move just goes a lot faster.
Yeah, so you only took the posts up for like 100 feet.
Yeah, that's right, only 100 feet. And then the reason we're back fencing them is, number one, we don't want them to go back and eat the forage again because they're taking too many bites out of it. We want to keep that for next time. And then second reason is they've got a lounge site back there. We probably want to go look at that.
Yeah, let's do that.
And they've...
when you say a lounge site, you mean like where they sleep at night?
Yeah, they've been sleeping there.
We call those campsites.
It's a campsite, and underneath these oak trees here. And I mean, that's fine for a day or two if they needed to stay warm, but we don't want them to stay there and lay in their manure and urine or be eating off of that. And
oh my.
yeah, so right around these trees, this is what we mean by a campsite or a lounge site. We don't need any more manure here. It'd be a waste of manure.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, somebody had a really rich one right there.
Yeah. So by putting that fence back up, we're not putting any more manure down here. And the sheep have water, I see, right there on the other side of that fence. There's a little pond right here. So they've got water. Okay.
Yeah, you don't back fence them if you don't have a water source. They need water.
But David, why would those sheep pick this high point on the paddock to sleep at?
I would say, number one, they're herbivores, and so they're always concerned. They're a prey animal, so they're concerned about predators. And so a high spot is somewhere where they can see a longer distance so they can flee. Yeah, that would be the main reason.
Yep. A high point, you're just, the predator has got to sneak up towards you to rip your throat out.
That is correct.
And there's guard dogs laying in here amongst them. We just don't have any predation.
Well, I mean, that's because of the guard dogs. I mean, we've seen coyotes out into just the pastures, or, I mean, over at the Judy farm, even up at Steve's. A week ago, Ike and I were out there, and it wasn't more than 30 yards from us, just broad daylight, and it wasn't until 20-30 seconds later it's caught our scent and took off. But they're there.
They're all around us.
They're all around us. I mean, it's having the guard dogs, you know.
How many coyotes have you seen me shoot since you've been here?
I don't think we've shot any. It's just a blessing.
Why don't we shoot coyotes?
Well, we're not really fixing a problem. So there's two parts to it. One is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So the guard dogs are I don't think we've lost any sheep to coyotes this year, Greg. We've got them in tight, you know, grazing them. That's another advantage to grazing rotationally, is you've got them in tight where the dogs can protect them. Mm-hmm. But we've got them in tight, so
when you say tight, David, for instance, this last paddock they were on like 2 acres.
Yeah, 2-3 acres.
So a guard dog
Right.
can easily protect.
That's right. I mean, they weren't on 100 acres, is what I'm saying. They might need a good 100 acres, is what we'll be grazing them on, but we've got them in tight. You know, if the dogs are doing the job, don't waste your management on problems that don't exist. That's a principle grazing. Don't try to fix problems that don't exist. You're burning up energy. If there isn't a problem, don't fix it. And the second reason you shouldn't shoot coyotes is because every animal has its own dominance place in the ecosystem. So if we kill off the coyotes, new ones are just going to move in. The current ones aren't giving us any trouble. We're probably going to introduce new criminals.
Yep. Did you know, David, that a pair of coyotes, when they mate for life?
I've heard that before, yes.
And when you shoot its mate and it doesn't have a mate anymore, now there's going to be 8 to 10 more, or maybe more, come in there and take over that area.
Yep.
And now you're killing sheep.
That's right. Now they're in there killing sheep, and it's about keeping your life simpler. Knowing what to do and what not to do.
Would you say somebody that is running sheep in an area like this, if they just get in the sheep business without guard dogs, they're pretty much taking a risk, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd say that's playing with fire. You're going to get burned.
Yeah.
And it's not only that. It's a lifestyle choice. You might say, well, I'm going to be out there at night and I'm going to take my guns and shoot them. Well, what is that doing to your family life and your own lifestyle?
What do you think's happening right there? That's a lady.
That's Lady.
She's our dominant.
She's the alpha.
Yep.
And she's very quick. She's probably just perusing around and checking everything out, making sure her boundaries are in place.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we just put him in there.
Yeah.
She's already made a circle around that whole paddock.
Oh, I mean, she's on top of it. She's quick and she's very sharp, very alert. It's hard to put a price tag on a really good guardian dog. I mean,
well, somebody got 2 good ones last night.
Yeah.
You know, in that auction we did.
That's right.
And I tell you what, that's what I tell people. You can't put a price. They're worth more than gold because you can sleep at night and they're not going to kill your sheep.
That's right.
Or goats if you got goats. People say, well, that sheep, you know, a big sheep can be a good ward off of predators. No, they can't.
No.
They can't bite.
Greg, there's so many experiences you've had with guardian donkeys, llamas.
Oh.
They just aren't the same thing as something that has fangs and can bark.
Yep.
And I mean, if the cost of a guardian dog, I mean, even if you've got a good dog and you bought it, if it was trained, even if it was $1,500 or so, compare that to buying, not every dog is going to turn out to be a great guardian dog.
No.
You know, it might be every 2 or 3. It just is going to depend on the time it takes to train it.
Well, here's the deal. If you get into sheep or goats, and let's just say you're going to decide, oh, we're not going to buy a dog. We're just going to, you know, keep them electric netting or whatever, or fence, and go with it. If you have coyotes come in and kill, and they start killing, they're not going to stop.
Yeah. I mean,
once you get killing started, you can't get it stopped. And so basically, because you made that decision not to have a guardian animal out there, you put yourself out of business.
Yeah, I mean, how many sheep do you have to lose to pay for a guardian dog?
Oh.
One night might pay for 3 guardian dogs.
For the rest of your, for a long time.
I mean, it's just...
Yeah. So, anyway, I just wanted to cover that, David, and I'll let you get back to putting in that.
Yeah, I'll get
this
on
back.
Let's
show people how you do that.
Yeah.
And I'm glad to be leaving behind all this manure.
That's right.
So we won't be back here for another 60 to 70 days. All that manure will have time to age, and the rain will hit it and the snow, and it'll basically kind of melt into the ground, and the parasite load is gone. So we come back here, they won't be ingesting parasites. They won't be exposed to parasites in their bedding areas.
You need to pull the dog feeder through just yesterday.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead? I'll just wait here. And you can run down and get that, David, if you would. It's such a beautiful area back here. We are on the lifetime lease, and we're going to be out of here. What we're doing, folks, is we're going back toward more of the open part of the farm where there's not a lot of brush and trees, and we're going to leave this set for a couple of weeks to kind of just settle down before deer season. There's super super good cover back here. I always see a lot of deer and harvest deer in this area. So, yeah. You know, it's goofy though. People say, you got them guard dogs, you're not going to have any deer. That's really funny because the biggest deer we've ever harvested was right over the fence from where the guard dogs and the sheep were at. These sheep and dogs live with the deer 365 days of the year, and they get used to each other. The guard dogs don't bother the deer, and the deer know that. And the sheep don't bother the deer. They know that. And so it's, you know, it's the symbiosis thing. Oh, you got guard dogs out there, you're not gonna have any deer or turkeys. I'm gonna tell you, we got both. And we got bobcats, and we got coyotes. And I don't shoot either one of them. We're predator friendly. When you start shooting predators, you can expect to start losing sheep. That's what's gonna happen. So David's bringing the dog feeder through. I can hear him coming. I love this dog feeder. It's because we can fill it up and we don't have to worry about our dogs being fed. It's a gravity flow. It pulls like a sled. And yeah. There it is. So every time we move our sheep, we move the mineral, which I've already done, and then we move the dog feed and we're done. And then we're gonna put this wire back up. Dave is checking the dog feed. And the sheep are checking out the acorns. And what a beautiful morning. But he's gonna hang this back up here and we'll be done. So we've got our back fence in. They can't go back to the bedding site or the campsite to be exposed to their manure. So these are just all good management practices, folks. If you're gonna get into any kind of livestock, move them. Yeah, there's a lot of feed left out there. You know why? Because we left a lot when we were here the last time. And if you leave some behind, you're always going to have something to come back to, even in a drought. And there's a ton of forage out there. And we're in a severe drought here. I'm feeling good about it though, especially with the sheep. The sheep will be able to go all winter without any hay. And that's the beautiful thing about sheep. They don't eat hay very well unless you feed them alfalfa. And you can't afford to feed a sheep alfalfa hay. Not when they can eat this stuff and do just fine. So Dave is getting ready to wrap this up. He's got his O'Brien step-ins. And then this is our perimeter fence that Jan and I put in many, many, many years ago. It's 4 strands of high tensile. That's our perimeter. And if I'd have known that we could have broke sheep to 1 wire, I wouldn't have put in 4. David, that didn't take you very long to do that.
No, it's pretty simple.
You tell me that's going to keep sheep in?
Yes, sir. But you gotta pull for them and select for them. Yeah.
David, thank you for taking time with me this morning to shoot this video.
It's been a pleasure, Greg.
And to wrap it up, I did want to give honorarium and my condolences to you and your family. I know you've had a pretty tough week or so. Your mother passed away.
Yes, she did, and she will be sorely missed.
And for folks that want to see what kind of lady she was an awesome lady. David put a tribute to her on his YouTube channel. And your YouTube channel, David?
It's Thinker Farmer YouTube channel.
Thinker Farmer YouTube channel. And go to that, folks, and check out the tribute that his family made to their mother. It's unbelievable. And I'd never met her. She wrote me a letter one time thanking me for some things we did with David. And I had tears coming down my eyes at the end of that tribute. So, well done. And again, my condolences.
Thank you, Greg.
Everyone have a good one.